Hello everyone, welcome to BISP Solutions. And the purpose of this video is to understand the end-to-end progress, how we made when we implement a solution for our client. So uh, the basic configuration starts with the GL configuration. So to check out the GL configurations, you can visit the previous videos. In the today's video, we will be covering the basic setups for payables that we do as per the requirements of our client. So our agenda for today will be we'll be setting the business unit locations, and then we'll create the reference data sets, and then we'll see the created business units, and then we'll assign them the functions and the reference data sets that we create. And we'll see the creation and assignments of the legislative data groups. Then we'll create the employee users. We'll assign the roles and give access to those users. After that, we'll create those users as procurement agent. And once this is done, they can create the suppliers. So we'll see how the suppliers are created in the applications. When we implement the projects for our client, we go with a rapid implementation methodology of uploading the enterprise structure and other setups, like chart of accounts and primary ledgers and the calendars. So once the RI sheet is uploaded, the business units are already created. So you need not to create the business units again. But to get a better clarity, we'll see how the business units are created in the applications. So before we create the business units, we'll see how the locations are created. So let's move into the instance and see how the setups are done. So this is how my application looks like. Uh, so, um, so let's move to the home page first. So this is our home page. So once the rapid implementation sheet is uploaded, our primary ledger gets created, the calendar gets created, and chart of account is created, and the business units are created based on the details provided in the RI sheet. So if I want to show you the business units that have been created, I'll go to setup and maintenance. And from here, I'll select the offerings as financials. And so searching here, manage business unit, search for manage business unit task. This is our manage business unit. If I click here, you can see all the business units that are already created. So the client which we are loading the data is BISP. So there are two business units which are already configured. Business unit, Business Infonet Private Limited, India, which is operating in India. And this location is already attached. When you upload through RI, this location is not uploaded. So you have to manually attach the location to the business unit created. Second, if you see the business unit, which is for USA. So this is BISP Solution Inc. USA. So here also the location is visible, but when you upload it through RI, it is not available. You have to manually create it and then upload the location from here. So let's go to the task, manage locations. In the manage locations task, you can create the locations for your inventory organization, your business units. So this is the task, manage location. Here the option is to create. Click on create. So if you can see, the location set by default comes as common set. So these sets are nothing but the reference data sets. If you want to have a unique set to be allocated to all the locations that your business unit are mapped to, so you can create the reference data set and select the appropriate location set here. So for now, we are using the common set. Now I'll give the name of the location. So As Bhopal location is already created, so I'll create another location, say Mandideep location. Okay, BISP. Okay, and so these are the mandatory fields which are marked by asterisk. This needs to be filled up. So country will be India. Okay, you select India. Then address line will be based on the address of the place there where your place is situated. I'll just give a dummy name. So pin code is 462046. State is Madhya Pradesh. Search, select Madhya Pradesh. So this is how our location gets created. Just click on review to review the details that you have entered. And then you can save it and submit. Once the location is created, you can attach the location to the business units that you have uploaded through your RI sheet. However, that has already been done in my case. So I am creating a dummy business unit where I'll attach the location. So I'll go to the task, the second task, which is manage business unit. Click here, BISP. So, okay, these are the one created. To create a new one, you click on create. You can mention the manager which is associated to this business unit here, and then you can assign the location. So I'll search location. Then this is the default set which I referred you there. So you can attach the reference data set here. So however, we haven't created any specific reference data set for now. So I'll just attach the common set, which is the seeded one provided by Oracle. So we'll use the common set. So this is how my business unit is created. Then if I move back to the PPT, then once the business unit location is created, we can assign the functions to the business units. Before that, we'll see the concept of reference data sets. So reference data sets are the data sets that can be created for for using a common set of information across the business unit. So if say for my location, I am sharing location reference data set. So for all the locations of BISP, I can have the same common reference data set allocated. Now, if I create this reference data set here, so the task is manage a reference data set. If I just click on blank search, you can see the reference data sets that are created. These are few reference data set that are created. So you can see UK location sets. So UK location set is a data set which will be sharing a common type of information across all the locations of UK. So this how that this can be used. So we will be creating a reference data set for our payment terms, which we will configure later. So I have already created, however, BSP reference data set. So this is the reference data set already created. So this is BISP reference data set for BISP. So this is how we can create it. Just we have to click on create. We have to give a set code. Then we can give the set name. Okay, the set code should be always in capital letters, uppercase. And then you can provide the description if required. So this is how we create the reference data sets. Okay, and now where do we assign it? Let's see, where do we assign these reference data sets? So if you search here, manage business unit, there is a task called manage business unit set assignments. Here you can select in the scope your business unit, okay, from the list, and you can click on apply and go to task, and you will see all the reference data objects which are available and the reference data set code assigned to them. So this is how we can assign the reference data set. See here for payables payment terms, we are using a different reference data set and not common. So BISP RDS is already assigned to this. If you want to change it, you can change it to the one we created. BISP payment set. So you can assign this to. Likewise, you can have a reference data set for location, for grades, and for other areas which are available here, apply, hold, reason, and all. So this reference data set will govern your that data object. So there can be a requirement from the client where they specify that those reference data sets should be created. Now, the importance of this will be like you can give the like we provide the data access. So we can provide the data access for this reference data set. So whoever is having the access for this reference data set can manage and view the locations and the payment terms created for the business units. So this is the importance of it. So you can just click on save and close. And if I select my business unit here, before that, I'll show you one more task, business unit, assign business unit, business functions. So assign business unit business function. So this task assign business unit business functions helps you to select all the business function that your business unit will perform. So say my business unit is not into project accounting. So I can just disable this checkbox and I can inactivate all the existing service provider relationship and just click on OK, and then this business unit will no longer be used for project accounting. So this is the purpose of this task. So you can enable all the functions, all the modules that your business unit require. If there is nothing like expense management, I can disable this one. So this is how we do. And if you see here, uh, We can select the primary ledger. This is a mandatory task. You have to assign the primary ledger and default legal entity. For the business function, you choose so that the financial transactions can be generated. So once your business unit functions you have assigned, it is mandatory to link that or map that to your primary ledger and the legal entity. I'll just open the business unit that we have created. So I'll click on the scope. I'll go to the drop down. I'll click on select a name, apply and go to task. And here I'll search for BISP. So the Mandideep one that we created is available here. I'll select this and click on save and close. So you can see because this is right now created and this is not created through the rapid implementation sheet, these all checkbox are not checked. So you need to click on the applicable modules that is there for this business unit. So you can always click on these. Okay. Receiving. What all you select here will be only available for you to do the setups for. So primary ledger, you can see primary ledger are two. I'll select BISP in PL and you will see automatically the legal entity will be defaulted. Click on save and close. So this is how business unit business function is performed. Then you select the task, manage business unit, set assignment, click on the scope. We have seen this for another PU. Now we'll see for Monday. I'll click on apply and go to task. You can see all common reference data sets are allotted. So R1 was payables payment term. Click on this common. You can change it to the one we created. BISP payment set or BISP RDS. Click on save and close. So this is how the set assignment functions. So these three tasks we have performed: business unit location, reference data sets, business unit, and assigning business functions to business unit. Now the task comes which is more relevant to the HCM, creation and assignment of legislative data groups. Legislative data groups are created in HCM module which help the creation of employee user. Because we need to create the employee user, this task is mandatory for us. So we'll see how the legislative data groups are created. So let's go to the global search and search for managed legislative data groups. So this is where we create the legislative data group. So you can see already the BISP Indian and US legislative data groups are created. I'll show you the basic information that we need to provide for creating the legislative data group. These are country specific. So you provide the name and the country to which these are affiliated and the currency of that country for which you are creating the legislative data group. Okay, this is how the LDG is created. So this is the one we will use, BISP Indian Legislative Data Group. You can edit that if required. So country is India, currency is Indian rupee, and if there is any cost allocation structure, we can associate this to on this legislative data group. This is useful for payroll activities. Now there is a task in again um, in HCM, which is manage HCM. Oh, just a second. So the task name is legal entity HCM information, manage legal entity, HCM information. So you will have to select the scope here first. So scope is your legal entity. This is the legal entity that we have mapped for our business unit. Click on apply and go to task. So this is the legal entity information that is there. So in the payroll statutory unit, you need to associate your legislative data group here. So if it is not there, just click on edit, update, and click on OK, and this field will be appearing. So you can attach your associated legal legislative data group to your legal entity here, and then click on submit. So this is how the legal entity is linked or associated with your legislative data group. However, this is already done in our case, so we'll not do that. And this is important because for creating the employee user, we need to have this. Now the concept of employee user comes into play. So employee user is a person who mm, has the responsibility or the roles to create the suppliers if he is also the procurement agent. So your user should be employee user. He should be the procurement agent or the buyer. Uh, if you are from EBS background, there were buyers there. So buyer, and here also we'll provide him the buyer role, and then we'll create him as the procurement agent, and he should have the role of supplier manager with the access of the business unit that you need to create the suppliers for. So the other task related to payables we'll cover in another video. But for the purpose of creating the supplier, we are just seeing the mandatory setups for creating the supplier. So now we'll see how the employee user is created. So the task is manage users. Click on manage users. Search. Okay, as this setup has changed, now I'll select financials again. Now search for manage users. Manage users. So this is the page from where we'll create the user. So create icon is there. Last name can be the surname. First name can be the username, and title you can provide based on whatever is applicable. And then you can provide the email ID here. So any email ID we can provide here. Okay, so whatever email ID you provide here, and the phone number and all for the employee and the hiring date. So whatever email ID you provide here, the user login details will be sent to this login ID. You can select the hire day for this user, and you can select the user name. Then user notification preferences is send username and password. So this will be sent to the user through mail, through the mail ID. Okay, now person type should be employee. To create this person as the employee user, you have to associate it with the legal employer. Legal employer is nothing but your legal entity. So I'll click on search, search for BISP. So I'll provide Indian BISP Infonet Private Limited, the Indian um, legal employer, and I'll select the business unit, the one which is already created because because it's created through array and some functionalities are already there for this business unit. So Business Infonet Private Limited India, and you can provide the job, grades, department, location of this employee, and as well as the manager. So if you click on search, the manager should be the person who is hired before the employee. So if I click on search, okay. Yeah. So this is the employee who is in the active state and has been hired before this user. So you can click on OK. So she will be assigned as the manager of this user. Then click on auto provision roles. So the basic employee role will be provided. This is how we create the users in the application once the user is created. Okay, let's change the name. So the user is created. Now you go to Navigator, Tools, Security Console, Users, search for the user created. User is still to be created. That's why it's not available here. It's in progress. So we'll search with the username here, Meena Gupta, and you can see the user is available and it has the employee role. So as this mail ID has been provided, you can go to the email ID and verify the the infusion no reply option coming here. So this is the automatically triggered mails which are sent to the user when the user is created. So this is the one welcome email. So dear Nina Gupta, congratulations, your Oracle Fusion Applications account has been created. This is the link to reset the password. So we'll just click on the link and then we can reset the password from here and submit. So this will allow that user to log in. So this user will do from his or her end. For now, the Casey Brown user is open. So this is available here. Now going to we'll see the login from this user as well. Before proceeding, we'll just assign a few more roles which are available, which are useful for us to be provided at this stage. So I'll click on edit and here I'll click on add role. So I'll give the user the buyer role, which is required for the employee user to be the procurement agent. I'll just give this role. Then I'll give her the accounts payable roles, which will be required for performing the activities for account payable. I'll give her the role of account payable manager, the user the role as account payable manager. And after that, the supplier manager role to create the supplier, which is our task for today, supplier manager. Okay, so this role we'll provide. Click on add role, membership. This is done. You can see the roles are coming or appearing here. Click on save and close. So before proceeding further in creating the supplier, I'll show you the basic important setups that needs to be done for payables. Um, as this is uploaded through rapid implementation sheets, those setups are automatically done. But just to show you the basic setups, I'll navigate to payables. And now we are considering the BISP Infonet Private Limited India as our business unit for the sake of further transactions. So the first task is common options for payables and procurements. You can click on this. You can change your business unit in the scope and provide BISP Infonet Private India, apply and go to task. So these setups are automatically filled up, right? These account combination are automatically coming into place because these are uploaded through the RA sheet. However, if they are not available, you can provide the set combination, all the values to these codes, to these segments, and you can assign the liability account, the prepayment account, and the conversion rate, variance, gain and loss account, and likewise. And then if your client needs the offset segments, you can always have the offset segment created, which will help you in the intercompany transaction if there is no intercompany segment. Then if there are any currency conversion required, you can allow the conversion rate entry and provide the realized gain and distribution loss accounts and conversion rate type, which is required for your organization based on your client. You can provide that. For the default value, we are using the corporate rate that can be provided through the daily rates sheet, which is there. You can upload the rates, and from there the rates will be automatically defaulted. Similarly, expense accrual, when you want the expense to get accruals at the receipt or at the period end time, you can provide that. Then there are few more options like self-billed invoices and legal entity information. So these we can fill as per the requirement of our client. That's all. Then we'll click on save and close. And similarly, there is in manage invoice options. This task, we provide the invoice entry preferences based on our client. So if they want to allow um, invoice grouping, then this option can be allowed. Allow document category override, allow adjustments to paid invoices. And if you want to allow the remit to supplier override for the third party payments, all these options which are available, we can select based on our client's preferences. How the matching will be done, that you can provide the allow matching distribution override like this. So you can provide these or information. Similarly, the payment terms we need to assign here. So like we have created the reference data set for a payment term. So when you create the payment term, you need to assign the reference data set there. We'll see this in our upcoming videos, how the payment terms are created and how reference data sets are created. So we'll see all these setups again when we be moving to AP. For our today's agenda, we have to see how the suppliers are created. So I'm just giving an overview. So these are all available options here. So this is one thing. And the last thing is manage payment options. Accordingly, we can set the payment options based on the client's requirement, how they want to account for payments, how they want the payment date before the system date or not, or it can be allowed or not, what would be the conversion rate. And these all information you can provide here. If you want the invoices to be approved, there should be approval rules set up. So for in the under invoice options, you can provide the approval details here, like enable invoice approval, and if the invoice is approved, what will be the accounting preferences. So in our case, we want the accounting to be done after the approval is done. So we have selected require approval before accounting. Okay, rest all concepts we will be exploring in our upcoming sessions. So these are the mandatory tasks which are required. Now, as we have provided the role, I'll quickly provide the access. So I'll click on manage data access task, manage data access for users, and I'll select this task. So here I'll provide the users the data access. So I'll click on add icon. Our username is Nina Gupta. Okay, role is supplier, buyer, employee, and accounts payable manager. For supplier manager, I'll give the security context as BU and I'll provide the BU name. So BISP Infonet Private Limited. I'll duplicate the tab. Then I'll provide the role again, accounts payable manager, security context BU, and for the same BU, I'll provide him the, okay, sorry, provide the user the access. Then the third one is buyer. No, that's it. So accounts payable and supplier manager. And you can clear this third one, save and close. So this is how the data access is provided. If you now search with the username, Nina.Gupta, search, you can see the roles and the access provided. Now, once we have provided the access, we'll run the retrieve latest LDAP process that is done to retrieve the access that we have provided, the roles we have provided. So I'll quickly run that. Retrieve latest LDAP changes. Retrieve latest LDAP changes. I'll run this process. So synchronizes users role and a role granted with the definition in LDAP. The purpose is this. I'll click on submit. Okay. Now one more task that needs to be done is setup and maintenance. If I just give a quick look to the PPT, we have created the business unit locations, reference data sets, and assigned functions to the BU. Then LDGs we have seen, employee user, basic common setups that are required for payables. That three setups we have seen, common option for payables and receivables, invoice option and payment option. We have created the employee, we have assigned the roles and given the access to that. Now I'll create the same user as the procurement agent. So the task is manage a procurement agent. Search, manage procurement agent. The BU is already selected. Now click on add. Provide the procurement BU name. So BISP Infonet Private Limited. Agent is Gupta, Nina. Okay, then default requisitioning view will take as BISP Infonet and the related access which is provided through this is manage requisitions, manage purchase order, purchase agreements, negotiations, sourcing programs, catalog content, supplier qualification, and all these options. So these are options which are allowed. And if you do not want to give any certain access to this agent, you can just disable this checkbox. So this is the process. You click on save and close. Now our user is a procurement agent for this BU. So this is how the agent is created. Now we'll log in through Nina Gupta ID credentials. I'll just sign out here. This is the user which we have created. So we have logged in through this user. Now to create the supplier, go to the navigation and the procurement, you will find the suppliers tab. Click on supplier. Then you can go to the task list and here you can see the option of create supplier. So you can provide the name of the supplier. Select the business relationship. So there are two. If there is this is a prospective supplier, I'll get prospective supplier. And if it is already we are dealing with that supplier, I'll click on spend authorize. You can select the tax organization type, means if it is individual, partnership, supplier, global, local, corporation, whatever this supplier is, you can select that. So I'll select that it is a individual firm, individual com business of this distributor. I'll click on create. So this way my supplier page will open. All the details which need to be filled in will be coming in place. So these are the information. If you want to add certain information, you can fill in here. Organization details, the business classification details, the products and services that the supplier is supplying, that we can add here. Transaction taxes, income taxes details, and the payment details. So payment method, what is the default method that we can select here? So if I say check and I'll select this as default, it will be coming in here. You can specify your supplier's bank account here, payment attributes, whatever detail if required, you can provide here. What will be the delivery channel, payment specifications, separate remittance advice delivery if you want to provide. You can provide it through email, and then you can provide the email ID for this remittance advice. So this all setups you can do for the profile level. In the addresses, you can add the address. Okay, I have selected email here. While for now I am not selecting this. We'll be exploring more on supplier on iSupplier portal, which we'll see in our upcoming videos. So first we'll just create the basic supplier details. So address we can provide here. Address is mandatory to create the site. So you create address here. Okay, we can provide the address line. Okay, city Bhopal. Pin code, you can enter any pin code, means relating to that address, and then the state and languages also you can mention here, which with you are dealing with the supplier. Address purpose is ordering, remit to, or RFQ, whatever is the address purpose, you can select it here. Click on save and close. So this is how we create the address. And to enable this site, this will go for approval. So this is auto approval process is there, and then only the site will be created. So I'll click on submit and I'll wait for some time. So this is laptops and printers distributor. This is here. Click on add it. Site. You can see this plus icon is now available. So click on add, because the supplier is auto approved for creation, and hence this option is coming. Okay. Supplier profile change request was approved. So once this is approved, you can create the site. Now you add your address name. This can be a primary pay address or procurement card, sourcing, purchasing pay option. This is the way you provide the details here. Then you save this. Once you save, all the other tabs will be appearing. The purchasing tab, the receiving tab. If you want to enable the communication method, here also you can provide the email and the email ID over here. Okay. So for now I'll just provide nothing here, and the other details like what is your consigned inventory, freight details, this way. And then receiving information, if you want to provide what is the early receipt tolerance in days, late receipt tolerance in days, whatever be your terms and conditions of the supply, you can mention here. In the invoicing option, you can provide the invoice currency, the payment currency, invoice amount limit, matching option, how you want the invoice matching to be done on the receipt basis, on the inspection basis, or on the PO basis. You can provide the details here. Okay. Order receipt or consumption advice. So you receipt, we can mention, invoice mention option is, match option is through receipt. How the match approval level will be set, 2-way, 3-way, 4-way matching, what. And then the quantity and the quality tolerances. This we also specify in our invoice options when we set up the BU for payables. And similarly, we can set this for our individual supplier level as well. Similarly, the payment currency. Okay, and if you want to hold all the invoices before paying to this supplier, you can select hold on invoice, and then you can mention the payment hold reason here. So this is how this can be mentioned, taken care of. And the payment term. So if you want to have some specific payment term for this supplier which you have agreed upon, so you can select the payment term. Now these payment terms are appearing here as we have associated our reference data set to these payment terms, and the same payment term we have assigned in the invoice option. So hence they are available here. So rest all options we'll be exploring as we move forward. Similarly, payment method we can assign here, file default checks here. Similarly, as it was there in the profile level, similar in setting we have for site level. Then site assignment, if you click on auto create assignment, it will assign it to your view, to which view you are linked with. That's it all. We'll click on save and close. We can provide the distribution combination here also at the site level. So whenever we do any transaction, the account combination will be picked from the site level. Now coming to the contacts, which is the one we'll be seeing further in the iPortal. So this is a mandatory setup to be eligible to view the iPortal, iSupplier portal. So you click on create. Here we'll mention a person who will be contacting with us, or who will be liable for this supplier to work on his behalf. So say Mr. Mr. Rajaram Sharan is a person who can be the sales representative or the manager for the supplier, who will be contacting with us for all the supplier related information and the details. Okay, so we can provide that contact information here. We can provide the contact address here. So you can select an ad for the created address and you can provide here the address. So for now we'll take the supplier's address here. Okay, so this is the address of the supplier from where this person is operating. If you want to create a user account for this user, we can click on create user account. Okay, so when you click on create user account, it will ask you to provide the email. For now, I am providing my email here. Similarly, as we create a new user, the same functionality is here. You can create a user with limited access who will be responsible for updating and doing the transactions on the basis on the behalf of your supplier. So see, the roles that are coming here are supplier self-service administrator, supplier sales representative, supplier product administrator, and the privileges that are coming are mentioned in the description. So he can manage the agreements, he can manage the profile of the supplier, he can be individual who is responsible for accessing retailer external portal, uploading and maintaining the supplier product and catalogs. Similarly, the last one is supplier demand planner, and other basic um, roles that are coming are supplier bidder, supplier customer service representative, and supplier account receivable specialist. So all those privileges that will be available are mentioned here in the description. Then data access, we are restricting access to supplier. Okay, now if you want more supplier sites also to be linked to this user, we can go to selected supplier sites and provide the supplier sites. Okay, supplier sites option will be available here. You can select and add those supplier sites. But for now, we are just restricting the access to only one supplier, which is laptop and printers distributor. Okay, so just click on save and close. So we have clicked on create user account. System will take some time and then create Rajaram Sharan as a user in the Oracle Fusion application so that he can manage the supplier which we have created. So the changes are saved. I'll click on submit. Okay, I'll again, if I open this supplier and I'll go to contacts, you can see the status is active. If I click on the user, it's still progressing. It is still processing. So let us just wait for a few moments. So this was our supplier, and this was the contact for the supplier. So you can see the user account is created and the status is active. If I click on the name of this contact, you can see the account status is active and the username is created. Now, as I have provided my email ID, I'll quickly move to my email ID. And here you can see this mail coming in. So, dear Rajaram Sharan, congratulations for your account creation. Now you can see the reset link here. Again, we'll again reset the password. Mhm. Now, if I open the application from this user and not Nina Gupta, I can view the supplier portal. So I'll sign out from here, confirm. Same link we'll use, and just we have to enter the name of the user. Mhm. Sign in. Raja Ram Sharan. So you can see just the access provided is the supplier portal. You can click on supplier portal and move to the supplier portal from here. And the available options are here under the task list, which can be performed. So, and these are the notification which are coming in. So this is the supplier contact user account created and the password reset confirmation. So in our upcoming video, we'll explore more on the supplier portal. Hope you have understood the flow from setting up the payables and then creating the user and the procurement agent, then the supplier, and then how we access the supplier portal from the contact that we create in the supplier. So this is all for the day. Thank you for watching.